You
Oh my
can't.
goodness. Hi, I'm Joel Hawksley, and this is my business partner and your co-host. Actually, you should be the host. I just come here and enjoy your conversation. This is David Washington. It's
Hey.
really great to be here with you. And John is here also, and he is an incredible producer. He's brought us through some really strange things, and where I've talked for an hour with no voice, and 2 hours without. But now, David, have you ever been at that point where you've lost your license? You can't find your license.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm like, where's my wallet? Where's my license? So yes, I can't find it.
So has it ever been somebody else's fault that you lost your license?
No, it's always been on me.
Okay. So it's on the Regency Hotel, Hyatt,
Hyatt Regency.
down in Miami.
Yes.
They have actually lost their license
Yes.
due to the fact that they decided they wanted to have a trans no
A drag
a
show.
drag show. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. A drag show. And I'm so sorry because I had that in my head and I was trying to be perfect on it, and that's why I didn't do it. But yeah, they had a drag show.
Yes.
And they said all ages are welcome, and all ages showed up.
No. I believe it was 18 and over.
No,
With
no. It clearly says on their advertising material, because I've read it,
okay.
all shows are all ages. It's all age appropriate. It's supposed to be.
Okay.
So they said that's how they advertise it. That's why they got the conservatives, back up, and they started to take notice. If it just said, adult show, it probably never would. But even if you go to their show, what's them call it, Christmas, a drag
Right.
Christmas.
Rudolph the red nippled reindeer or something like that.
Oh, whatever. All I know is this is a controversy because we're talking about children and protecting children. So, David, I would go to a drag show.
Mhm.
I would not be, it might be uncomfortable, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. You invite me, I say, sure, let's go have fun,
Right.
because it is fun,
Yeah, it is.
and they do some things that are inappropriate.
It's fun adult entertainment.
Well, they do some lascivious things. I mean, let's look at the fact that they're going to pretend to masturbate. They're going to do sexually explicit things,
Mhm.
and you're talking about children. Now, will the children know what's going on? Maybe not. But parents, I think parents need to be held to a standard, and they need to make sure that their children are protected. That's why we have protective services.
So that's the government's responsibility to protect children.
Uh,
If they're not being abused or neglected.
oh,
It's the government.
is
has
this
to
not
step in.
abuse or neglect? See, I could
Technically,
say-
technically, it's not. When you look at the rules and regulations of child abuse and neglect statutes here in Florida, and for my prior experience and knowledge in Illinois, this is not abuse or neglect.
Okay, so, but it's in a public place, and it's inappropriate for children.
Sure, that I can agree.
Being advertised that all ages are welcome, and parents bringing their children there.
Mhm.
Listen, I'm not going to the extreme. Like I've seen people want these parents to be held accountable too.
Sure.
But if you're going to put on a show, you should put you're the host of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have the show in your place. You should have the responsibility to say, you know what, I think maybe we should make this 18 or older.
I agree with you. There should be some prohibition. Did I say that right? There should be some restrictions. There's responsibility on the part of the show, the drag queen show, and also the greater responsibility on the parents. And for the show, they should say in their literature and their posters, whatever, their marketing, that this show is appropriate for those 18 and over. And it's up to the parent to say, okay, all right, the show is appropriate for 18 and over. I'm going to think twice about bringing my 16-year-old.
Yeah, but I've also heard, now I don't have proof of this. I've just read it and seen some stuff about it. But these are, now I know they advertise that way, but they don't perform at a place unless they allow it to be open to all ages. So if the Hyatt had said, we will restrict this to 18 and over, the drag show would not have gone on there.
And so there should be, okay, like with the explicit warnings on stickers on record albums or albums back in the day. There should be that warning available on the, again, marketing of the event, and saying that there will be explicit material presented, and leave it to the parent to make that judgment. Now, again, I believe that ultimately it's the individual's responsibility. And if there were the necessary precautions in place, but I decide as a parent to bring my 18-year-old, well, my 12-year-old to a show like this.
They're younger than 12 even.
That I don't.
If you watch the video, this is.
I saw the video, and
I
saw the
young
video.
Children.
I saw the back of young people's heads.
I saw kindergartners. I saw kindergartners. I saw elementary school. And the one I saw, it was
it the video linked to the source material or show notes, or was this another?
This is one of their shows.
Oh, it was
from a different angle, and I don't know if it was at the Hyatt.
It wasn't the December,
but it was one of the winter shows.
Okay,
so it's the same show that might have been at a different place, but from a different angle. So they're looking more at the audience and behind.
Okay,
so you see a good clip of the audience.
All right.
You see the parents very clearly. The little kid comes up and with $1.
Okay,
little kid comes up with $1.
Right.
Like, okay, mommy just sent you up there with $1.
See, the clip that was filmed by the reporter for this particular article that we're referencing, it showed a big stage and an audience, but there was no interaction between the audience and the performers. In the act wasn't as it wasn't no more suggestive than what I've seen at the Grammys. And so this was from the particular show that got the Hyatt into trouble.
And
so
how much did they edit the clips to make sure that it keeps to their agenda?
This is a clip from a conservative news source. Very conservative news source.
I still think they have I still think they would try to make it calm, in the sense that they don't want to stir up,
Based on this clip, the DeSantis administration filed a complaint. I
don't think it was just based on this. I mean, that's based on a whole lot of stuff. I mean, you had the only reason I knew about this, David, is it said all ages, and the reason I can say that it said all ages is because I was invited to protest the one that was going to be here in Orlando.
Okay, but that's a whole different show.
No, it's the same show.
No. The December 7th show.
You're talking about the individual show, which I get, but that show travels,
right?
And I'm talking about.
But that doesn't mean it's not the same show.
It's the same show.
The content could change from venue to venue to venue,
right? But it's very clear. It was very, very clearly stated that there was mock masturbation. There were lascivious things. I mean, you exposed children to explicitly sexual things, and you're trying to promote an agenda. And I'm not. Again, if you invited me to one of these shows, I'd go. I'm curious. when I got the notice to say I want to go protest it, I said, no, I want to go see it. Like, I want to go see what these crazy people are up to, because that's how I feel. And I'm talking about crazy in any other sense, that they're fully in. This is what they do. They make their money this way.
Mhm.
And you know what? It's entertainment. Just like if I was in Vegas, I would watch something that I probably wouldn't watch anywhere else.
Right. So the show we're referencing is the December 27th, a drag queens or
But this is
a drag queen Christmas.
But
down at the
ours
King
is
Center.
ours is in
Ninth
trouble
Center.
too.
Mhm.
So if you want to get in detail, our venue is in trouble too.
Well,
But
I believe that was at the Plaza Live,
Yes,
right?
they've lost their liquor license.
Right. Mhm.
So they've already lost their liquor license. We could have talked about that one, and it's local.
Mhm.
This one we're talking about. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but it's the same show. It could be slightly different, a different director or something, but it's the same show. And why would you advertise to children?
Oh,
David,
There, a little girl, kindergartner or first grade, is not going to get into the car, drive to the Plaza Live or to the Night Center in Miami, and sit there and enjoy a drag queen Christmas. A parent's going to take them, a guardian. It's on them. I'm not in the business of regulating what people do with their kids or what's in their private lives.
So an adult who serves alcohol to a child,
A business, or
No.
are you talking about at home?
I'm talking even at home. If an adult were to serve alcohol to minors, they're primarily taking their parent, their child, and they're giving them alcohol. Plus, they're giving alcohol to other people at a party, per se.
Okay, so now you're qualifying your
Because
statement.
everybody's welcome.
So
Everybody's
so
welcome.
I get a glass of wine at 16
and
at
I'm not-
Thanksgiving
and I'm not
with
even
my
gonna-
family,
and
but
I'm not even gonna.
versus
No,
a big
I'm talking drunk.
party,
Yeah, if you're
then you're breaking
Listen.
the law. That's not. You're at a big party and you're giving alcohol to other.
no, I'm
kids
not.
that are
I'm
not
talking
yours.
your kid.
That
Like
is-
your
that
kid
is
gets
something
drunk and your
different.
kid goes out and does something and harms somebody,
Then I
you're
am
in trouble.
responsible for that. Yes, I am responsible for that.
Then you're in trouble. So
I
if you
agree.
bring your child to something that's lewd and lascivious, then you should be in trouble,
And how do you define lewd and lascivious?
dude. I don't have.
I know
to
it
de-
when I see it.
I don't have to define it because I already.
I know it when I see it.
I already have it. Listen, you know pornography when you see it. Like I've told you several times that there's a very
I know
fine-
art when I see it. And these drag queen shows have considered it art.
Okay, you can consider it art until it gets to a certain point.
And where's that certain point? My certain point may be a lower threshold than your certain point. Who's right? Who's wrong?
Okay,
How we're going to regulate that?
I say that it's very easy to regulate. You know, hey, anything that
Is it?
takes anything that
Is it?
takes.
We're having a disagreement
anything-
on what's
but-
acceptable to society.
No,
and what's,
you're having a disagreement. I'm in. See, I'm in the winning court this time because you know what? We're taking the license away.
yes,
we're doing
you are.
we're doing the right thing, and you know these parents need to worry because they could be next.
So right, they can
Because
be next.
you
And
are-
other
and-
businesses
and
can be next.
You know that.
What if I have
you
a
know how they rewrite
podcast and,
that?
and there's a cuss word or two or three that the conservatives, the Republicans, Ron DeSantis doesn't like? There goes my podcast.
No,
What
that's-
if I write something negative about
You're getting into a whole different thing.
Senator Brodeur? There
That's
goes
a
my
whole
rights.
different. That's a whole different bill. That's a whole different.
When does
no.
it stop? That's what I'm saying. When does it stop?
It never stops, and you guys started it.
First, they came for the drag queens.
Listen, you guys started it,
Then they came for the unionists. Then they came for the teachers.
dude.
Then they came for the professors.
You're just going out on a limb because you guys started it. I mean, yeah,
We did.
you guys started regulations big time in the 70s. I mean, slapped on, with Carter, you slapped on
The environmental
you put-
protection
you
agency.
said, hey-
oh, that was Nixon.
that was Nixon, but you guys are the ones that put warnings on cigarettes, and you guys made the speed limit 55 miles an hour. You guys did all these different, like, it's like all these regulations just keep going and going and going.
Save lives.
It didn't.
Warnings on cigarette packs of cigarettes
Doesn't help anybody.
Doesn't help me, but I like to know what I'm putting into my body.
Well, I'm just saying,
I don't smoke.
And you'd have,
Joe Campbell was telling me in college, hey, this is fun stuff. It gets you chicks. It's cool.
Listen,
I read what's in it and say, oh, my Camels. I love my Camels, but you know something?
Did you ever smoke?
Me. Yes, Camels, unfiltered.
Yeah, my grandfather smoked Camels unfiltered.
He's a good man.
I always could get a cigarette when I was at his place. So
you smoked?
Yeah, I did for a little while.
Oh,
and the Army used to have cigarettes in their food rations.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, the best part about food rations was while I was in, they added Tabasco sauce. I love the little tiny Tabasco sauce that's in there. But where we're at is, I think they deserve to lose their liquor license because they're responsible. And any venue, if you went to a movie theater and the movie theater, was putting on an X-rated show,
right,
there would be nobody 18 or under.
Yeah,
in that show. And I considered this to be right on the cusp where you and I can disagree, but I lean on the fact that this is just a little bit inappropriate for children, and parents should have been responsible, but the venue should have made parents responsible by saying, write it down. Say this is where you need to be at. And if they had, they wouldn't have lost their liquor license. So they can still serve alcohol right now until everything is done.
Right.
But yeah, I think they made a bad decision. And I think that DeSantis is right. Now, where you were going with the other things, that's a whole different conversation.
I know.
So I am a big time First Amendment guy.
Yes.
I do not want my podcast to be like, I want to say what I need to say. And if I say it wrong, beat me up. But I stand by what I say unless I accidentally said the wrong thing. Right. And then I'll come back and I'll say, I'm sorry. I don't know why I mixed it up. But I'm not going to change the whole sentence like Donald Trump does. I mean, I'm going to say, this is what I said. And maybe I flipped a word or I said something. So what was it the other day? I said something. I said something to an individual, and it was, you don't know business. When I really meant to say, you don't understand his business. So you drop a whole word and the whole sentence is different.
Sure.
I insult the individual in the worst way, when really I was just trying to say, you don't understand what this guy is going through in his job. He might not be able to call you every 10 seconds, but that's misspeaking. And I have to stand behind what I said. I did say it. I said it out of frustration, which I shouldn't have. So I think that the Hyatt was treated with respect, even though they lost their license. And maybe they'll think twice next time. You want to go? Maybe
my concern is where does this end? And given the current climate in Tallahassee, as the chair of the state GOP here in Florida, Chris Ziegler, he said, "Hey, we're pushing the pedal down."
Christian Ziegler.
Just
want to make sure
Christian.
He's a friend, so I kind of like
Christian.
I want to make sure that I can disagree with my friends on things, but you know what?
They're pushing the pedal down all the way down. He said so.
Yes, because we have the right to. Because you didn't show
earned
up.
It. The Republicans earned it, and that's what happens when Democrats don't show up.
Well, just one more thing. I did a short on it, so it's just like the Senate Bill 668. You can't make this shit up. When you want to tell everybody what you can fly on your flagpole at a public building, and you list the Confederate flag, you're going to get flack. You're not going to get any slack. And I mean, it's a symbol. It's a symbol that is we consider a symbol of hate. So it's going to get talked about. And even if it's still in the debate stage, I believe in the First Amendment, but I also believe that the government needs to restrict certain things.
All right.
But remove those regulations. This has been a great show. And if you want to see this drag show, remember, we have political salsa coming up. We have a lot of different things, but you can't make this shit up. It's just happening around you. Keep your eyes open and tell us your story on the next.
Please comment, share, like, tell us what you think. You can't make this shit up.